Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome back to another video where I'm going to go through buying a Mark 8 Golf R over a Mark 8 Golf GTI and the reasons behind that. So yeah, we'll get straight into the video really. So yes, this is off the back of a community post that I put up early on this week, and thank you so much for the feedback to that. I think sort of around 20 comments to go through. And I basically asked the question, with your hard-earned cash, what would you buy? Would you buy a Mark 8 Golf R or would you buy a Mark 8 Golf GTI? And as obviously part of my channel, you lot are so interested in this kind of topic, as am I thought you were the best kind of people to ask the question to. Now, what I'm going to do is I'll go through my kind of reasonings why kind of the Mark 8 Golf R is the better car to choose and the reasons behind that in this video. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video, which will be essentially a full argument for the Mark 8 Golf GTI. I don't think it's as easy to say that one has more power than the other as the definitive answer. So yeah, I'll go through my reasons first, and then I'll go through some of the comments on the community post that I put up, which are arguments for the Mark 8 Golf R. And yeah, let's get straight into this video on what is a gorgeous Saturday morning here in the UK. So yes, welcome to the video, and let's get started straight away. So as you can see to the kind of the right of me, and I'll put a bigger screen up, that is essentially the Mark 8 Golf R, which we're going to see probably early 2021 to be honest, but we've seen a lot of kind of images on the Nürburgring, and it's basically production ready now. We know a little bit more about it. Maybe some things aren't 100% confirmed. I'm certainly still a little bit 50-50 on power, but we know enough. Four-wheel drive, over 300 brake horsepower. Yeah, it should be a great, fun car. Now, this video specifically is comparing it between a Mark 8 Golf GTI, and I'm going to explain basically why the Mark 8 Golf R is the one to go for, in my personal opinion. So, sort of the first reason is that power. That power, combined with the four-wheel drive system, as I've experienced in my Mark 7 Golf R, is fantastic, particularly as a daily driver, and it makes it worth putting your hard-earned money into. You know, there's never a sort of a period where I want to have a bit of fun and the Golf R doesn't deliver for me, you know, whether it's having a bit of fun in a straight line or going fast around corners, because it can deliver that. And the Mark 8 Golf R is going to be no different in that regards. If anything, it's likely to turn it up a little bit more. It's also the top of the range, the top of the tree in the Golf kind of product lineup. There might well be a Golf R Plus, but for now, let's just say this is going to be as good as you can get. And I quite like that, because it means designers, developers, they don't really hold back. Marketing, they don't hold back, because as I'm sure you're all aware, marketing team, they know how to kind of position specific golfs. It's always been a bit of a shame that, say, previous GTIs have been basically limited with power. Say like the Club Sport 40th anniversary edition for the Mark 7 was limited to about 260, 270 brake horsepower, and then had like an overboost for like 10 seconds, which up to 290. And it was just that whole, it had to do it because of the Golf R, not to step on its toes. It's a problem with a lot of manufacturers, but I think VW find it particularly quite difficult. And to get the one which is essentially at the top, it means it gets the best chance to be as good as a car as it could possibly be. Whereas compared to the Mark 8 Golf GTI, we know it's going to start at essentially the same power as what the last one finished as, which was the performance pack model, say in the UK, which was around 245 PS, around 245 brake horsepower, basically. That's what the Mark 8 Golf GTI is going to be at in this day and age, even compared to other competition, let alone the Golf R. That is quite a low amount of power, let's be honest, for 2020. A well-driven Fiesta ST is going to easily kind of keep up with a car in essentially a higher segment. And when you're paying essentially a fair amount of money, because they're both still very expensive cars, particularly in the Mark 7, I found them not too dissimilar in price. The Mark 8, it's yet to be 100% confirmed how the difference in price is going to be, but let's say it is a similar amount, it is quite close. you would always kind of go with the Mk8 Golf R in that regards. I also think looks wise as well, maybe this blue is not really the best example, but if you're after something that's going to be quite subtle, the Golf R is actually surprisingly the better choice, even with those quad tailpipes. It very much blends into normal traffic. You don't draw too much attention to yourself. Now, I'm not saying the GTI is the most showy car out there, but it has more standout sort of triggers to it. Particularly, you've got like the red line going through like the front of the grille and front of the headlights. It stands out a little bit more, tiny bit more. And if you're a person who wants something to stand out more, potentially, you can just get, say, like a Golf R in a nice colour. I have generally, particularly for the Mark 7, the colours on the Golf R are probably a little bit better. I've always liked that lapis blue. This blue looks really nice. It's not something that's really been available for us in the UK on a GTI. So colour ranges as well can be another reason. The final point that I'm going to make, because I could kind of go on for ages about this, as you know about my channel, is where VW R is kind of at this stage. You know, fair enough, the GTI was a huge thing. It started off in sort of like the late 70s, mid to late 70s. I think it arrived in the UK in about 1979. So it's got plenty of history to it. It was that sort of first hot hatch, and it's got, you know, and that shouldn't be taken for granted. It's a fantastic car in that regards. But if you look at past, say, the last sort of like 10, 15 years or so, where R has kind of made its name, it's kind of brought itself back in, either with, you know, you can include the R32 with that 3.2 litre V6, previous R models as well, which have had this Haldex type system, and then obviously going on to the Mark 7 Golf R in sort of 2014 around the UK for the last six odd years. It's a little bit fresher, it's a little bit newer, it's a little bit of something interesting, and I just feel that VW have sort of grabbed it by the horns and are using it as a, you know, this is going to be what we want to show VW as. You know, they're using it in so many other models now that sort of are full-on R badge, similar type of engine, that EA888 with the full power, with the Haldex system. You know, they're really trying to deliver that. And all of that is good for R owners because it means reliability is going to be a little bit better because they've got it across more model ranges, a bit more attention to detail, I guess. You know, VW, you know, fair enough, they can get the odd thermostat wrong or whatever in a Golf R, but they're not going to want to get it wrong in an Arteon R, a Touareg R, a T-Roc R, you know, all the other R models that they're sort of thinking of. So I think that's a little bit better, hopefully, on the reliability side. And it's something interesting, exciting. You know, they're bringing this new type of product, essentially, which really did change the game. You know, it really did bring a lot of people's attention. You know, it was Car of the Year on a few magazines as well when it first came out. And rightly so. It's a great car. It's a great hot hatch. It's a great middle ground as well, where price is concerned. You know, for people who can't afford the £60,000 price tag for an A45S or a new RS3, Mk8 Golf R, likely to sit around sort of £37,000, is actually a great place to be at this time. And, you know, we live in tough times. Why not kind of go for the best of what VW have to offer? And, yeah, see what this excitement's all about and see where it's going to go. And that's what gets me, you know, quite excited. And that's why I kind of show a lot of the Golf R stuff on this channel. But yeah, those are some of my opinions. I'll probably go on for quite a while, but I don't want this video to run too long. I'm going to go through some of the community posts and sort of put them to the right of me, of what you lot said in terms of in a positive way to the Mk8 Golf R. So one of the first comments related to this question is essentially saying, I'd go with the R. Yes, the GTI is cheaper, but not by a huge amount. I'd always get envy if I were in a GTI and saw an R. Maybe the power is overkill for daily road use, but it's great fun when you use it. I'm still not sold on the designs though, and that was actually kind of a running theme about the Mk8 in general, people having reservations about moving to the Mk8 at all. But in relation to comparing the Mk8 GTI with the Mk8 R, that is a very valid point. The next comment is sort of saying, well, hi Sam, again, it's really how you feel at the end of the day. My personal opinion would probably be the Golf R, but of course the GTI is a cracking car also. But either way, both cars are not cheap. Now that is a really fair point actually, because in this day and age, they're not that cheap for hatchbacks, you know, equivalent sort of Ford Focus or whatever is going to save you a bit of money. So that is something really to consider. But yeah, between the two, we've got a Golf R winner there. The next comment says, I would go for the Mk8 R as it looks a lot more sportier than the Mk8 GTI, as the R has a new spoiler at the back. I feel like the R will be able to get its power down anywhere due to the four-wheel drive. Also, we have heard that the new R could have more bhp than the 7 and 7.5, whereas the new GTI has the same power as the 7 and 7.5 performance pack. Very good points there. This person from the US says Mk8 Golf R, but it might be more expensive. I believe in the USA it's $5,000 to $10,000 more depending on options. Price is a very good thing to consider. Next comment, there's not much in the price between the two and the performance specs on the GTI with the benchmark for hatchbacks 10 years ago. I'd definitely go for the R. Having said that, I wouldn't move to the Mk8 as to me it doesn't seem much, if any, of an improvement over the Mark 7. I'd go for an S3 as at least it looks the part. Next comment, I know the GTI is an icon, but surely VW can make the R more beastly. It is supposed to be top of the range after all. True, and the thing is actually on that, and I'm going to count that as a positive comment to the Mk8 Golf R, is that there is more bandwidth to make it better, basically, whereas the GTI I think is strangled a little bit in that sort of like gap, if that makes sense. Next comment, after owning both a Mark 7 Performance Pack GTI and now my Mark 7R, I would go for a Golf R all day. Looking forward to seeing and having a go in the new one. And the last comment just says Golf R. So yes, there we go, some positive comments there for the Mk8 Golf R. And yeah, I think it's a really interesting kind of debate between the two. And I kind of bring this up, particularly where I see the GTI's sort of power and potential price. I think if that is a big gap between the two, as the person from the US mentioned, then that makes a big difference to me, particularly when you're putting your real money in, not just talking on a forum or talking on YouTube. You know, when you actually put in the money that you work hard for in, it makes a big difference to say, well, actually, is it worth me spending the extra £6,000 or $10,000 on an R over a GTI? That's kind of where I'm kind of at, really. But this video is very much on the positives of the Mk8 Golf R. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed going through some of the comments. Check out that post if you want to comment any more on that. You know, feel free to. I've still got tomorrow's video to come, which is going to be all the 4 reasons for the Mk8 Golf GTI over the Mk8 Golf R. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, have a fantastic rest of your day. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you've enjoyed the discussion. And yeah, please share, like, and subscribe for plenty more content. Particularly sharing, it really does help build the channel, and yeah, helps it grow. And thanks so much for supporting it. I think coming up to sort of like 1,300 subscribers now, which is great. And yeah, plenty more content to come, including tomorrow's video, which is kind of like the follow-on from today's video. But thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.